Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're finally going to kick off my reviews on products from Star Wars The Force Awakens, and to spice things up and kick these reviews off with a real bang, rather than taking a look at an action figure or a vehicle from Hasbro or a Lego set, we are going to take a look at a Disney Store exclusive piece. Now, first and foremost, I am a huge fan of this line. I have picked up previous figures from this particular range in the past, and as soon as I saw that this guy was going to see a release on Force Friday, I knew that he'd be right up there on the top of my wants list, and I'm really excited not only to own it in my collection but also to share it with you guys, as it's an absolutely awesome piece. We are talking about, of course, none other than this guy. This is the 14-inch talking First Order Stormtrooper from Star Wars The Force Awakens. This, as I said, is an absolutely amazing figure. Really impressed with it. Not only is it huge, as it stands at 14 inches tall, but it talks, it lights up, it makes sounds, it's articulated, and it's just an amazing toy. That's one of the things I really want to emphasise in this review, is that it's a superb toy. You know, whether you're a kid or a big kid, you're going to have a lot of fun with this set, or with this piece, and I just can't recommend it enough. It's a great value for money product as well. These currently retail in the UK at least for £20.95, so for just over 20 quid you're getting 14 inches of plastic, electronic lights and sounds, and just a really cool product. So I really recommend these, and I can't wait to give you a look at it in more detail. Now, before we get on to the figure itself, I do want to give you a look very quickly at the packaging that he comes in. And another thing that I'm a really big fan of is the new design to the packaging. This is one of the things that's really consistent throughout the Force Awakens line, and that's my love of the packaging that these toys come in, because it's really striking, really colourful, and it stands out on shelf, which is what you want these figures to do in order to convince you to buy them. Now, with these Disney Store exclusive talking figures, as you can see, you do have the Disney Store exclusive logo at the top. You've got the Try Me sections of the front window just there, and down at the bottom we have a very cool image of Kylo Ren. On the side of the box we get a really nice graphic of the First Order Stormtrooper in action. That's a really striking image, looks very cool. I'll just give you a full length shot of that. Really can't wait to see these guys in action. I think they look absolutely awesome. Love the new design to the armour, and really excited to see them in the film. On the back of the box we do get an image of the figure itself, once again with some brief rundowns of the features that are included. And as you can see from the small insert that's included there, this particular figure does take 2 AAA batteries. So if you play with this thing too much and wear out the batteries, that's what you'll need to replace them and get this guy going again. So that is the box that this figure comes in. Now let's take a look at what we get inside. And as I said, this thing is just 14 inches of pure awesome. It's a fantastic figure, really nicely sculpted, really well put together, and just a really top quality piece. Now, what we're going to do to kick off this review, obviously the lights and sounds are the main feature to this figure, so they're what we're going to take a look at first up. Now, to activate the lights and sounds on this guy, obviously you need to turn him on, pardon the expression. And if you flick that switch at the back from down to up, that turns the figure into on mode. Now, to activate the different lights and sounds that this guy has, there are a couple of buttons. Obviously you have lights and sounds within the blaster, and these are activated by a button on the right shoulder, and you also have phrases from the Move 8 which are activated by a button on the chest. So we'll take a look at those blaster sound effects first up. Not only do we get sound effects in the blaster, but the tip of the blaster lights up as well. So really cool lights and sounds going on with this one. And let's give those a listen now. Now you'll notice I pressed the button 3 times there, and each different time I pressed it, we do get 3 different variations on the sound. So once again, if I press the button once, you get 1 singular blaster shot. If you press it a second time, you get 2. And if you press it a third and final time, you get 1 singular shot that fades away into the distance. Now, one of the things I really like about this is, as I mentioned, the tip of the blaster does indeed light up, and the light corresponds with the sound. So once you press it once, you just get the one flash at the end. If you press it the second time, the blaster lights up twice, and if you press it third and final time, the light fades away as that blaster shot fades more into the distance. So really nice in that respect. Nice little attention to detail, adds a little bit of realism to the product as well. And obviously this guy does indeed talk as well. Now, as I mentioned, you do have one button just here on the front to activate this guy, and all we do is just press that and we'll hear this guy speak.
Move out! Let's go! Put down your weapons. Sir, resistance fighters! We're taking you into custody. Drop the weapons, now! Move out! Let's go!
Now, we don't get a whole variety of different phrases with this guy. You know, it is just basic and very generic trooper dialogue. So there are no major plot points revealed about the movie, there are no other characters referenced or anything like that. So we don't really know who he's talking to, what exactly his mission involves. But they are, you know, as I said, basic trooper dialogue and basic lines that we'd expect from a stormtrooper. And the voice sounds really cool. So I can't wait to see these guys in action in the movie. In addition to the lights and sounds, we also get a nice range of accessories with this one. You will notice that the F11D blaster rifle, which is the new name for these weapons, and they look very cool as well, is actually sealed into the hand, and this is obviously to accommodate all the electronics that activate the lights and sounds. There's no real articulation either in this particular arm, but I'll run through that in just a little bit. One of the things I really like, however, is the attention to detail on this particular blaster. As you'll see, it does sort of represent the E11 Stormtrooper rifle that we saw in the original trilogy. Some of those design features are indeed still evident in this new design. So you've got the rubber tracks on the barrel, you've got the stock just underneath, and as you'll see there, you've got the scope and the magazine and counter on the side. You'll also notice that you've got white highlights on the blaster as well, which give it a nice updated feel. And again, it's a really nice and cool looking weapon. Now, in addition to the F11D blaster rifle, we also get an officer's pistol, which as you can see is inserted in the other hand. Now, this blaster pistol is in fact removable, and this is something that I was really pleasantly surprised about, because if you've collected any of the other talking action figures from this range, then you'll know that secondary firearms aren't exactly common. With figures such as Boba Fett, for example, the second blaster pistol that came with him was sealed into his holster, so you couldn't remove it and add it to the actual figure. But with this guy you can in fact remove and detach and attach that blaster pistol, which is really good. And as you'll see as well, it's a really cool sculpt. If I just give you a look at that close up, what I really like about this is that it's a nice retro feeling but space age design, but it fits in really well with the look of the new Stormtrooper armour. So really happy with that blaster. As you'll see on one side of it, we do get two holes, and these do in fact attach to pegs on the leg of the Stormtrooper figure, just like that. So if you don't want to have this thing in the trooper's hand, then you can just attach it to his leg like so, ready to draw fire at resistance fighters. Now, this guy also features a nice host of articulation. He's not super articulated, you know, you're not going to get sort of sideshow and Hot Toys quality out of these figures. But the articulation and posability that this guy does have is indeed very nice. We have a ball joint at the head, which as you'll see and hear is a very tight joint. We have a swivel at the right shoulder and elbow. Again, this is to accommodate the electronics within the arm. Obviously you'll have the wires and circuitry and everything running through that arm to connect to the blaster. On the left hand side we do get a hinge at the shoulder, a hinge at the elbow, and also a swivel at the wrist. There's no articulation in the torso, as obviously this is where the battery compartment is stored. And we do have ball hinges at the hips, which again is a nice pleasant surprise, something that was actually absent on the talking Imperial Stormtrooper figure that was previously released. We also have hinges at the knees and hinges at the ankles as well. So great articulation, a great sculpt, and once again I absolutely love the updated look to the Stormtroopers for The Force Awakens. I think they look fantastic. It's a nice natural evolution of the armour design that we've seen throughout the original trilogy, and I just cannot wait to see it in action. I think it's a great design, a great character, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these guys. I'll be giving you a look at various other First Order Stormtroopers in many other scales, such as the 3 3/4 inch release, the 6 inch release, and hopefully somewhere down the line I'll be able to pick up the Disney Store exclusive die-cast Elite Series Stormtrooper as well, and I'll give you a look at that figure in a future review as well. But for the time being, this is a great addition to the collection. Again, it's a really fun toy, so whether you're a kid or a big kid like me, then you're going to have a whole lot of fun with this particular item, and I can't recommend it to you enough. So if you want to add this one to your collection, be sure to do so via the link in the video description, which will take you to the Disney Store website. And once again, this guy is in stock and available to buy now for just over £20, which is an absolutely phenomenal price. So I hope you've enjoyed this review on the 14-inch talking First Order Stormtrooper from the Disney Store, and I'll be back to give you a look at many more Force Awakens products in the coming weeks. I've got some 3 3/4 inch figures to give you a look at, some Lego sets, and some 6-inch figures from the Black Series. So there's so much to look forward to here on the channel, and I hope you'll stay tuned for all of those reviews. So until next time, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.